Hey, good morning, and welcome to the final step in how to attract more customers. My name is Jeff Harrison, and we're doing this along with Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce with Katie Stice. And Katie may pop in here. She's a very busy gal. I know she was out all week with her staff in Arizona getting additional education to bring back to us as members of the Chamber of Rancho Mirage to help us grow our business and make the city of Rancho Mirage even more wonderful than it is. So, what I'm going to do today, if there's no questions to get started, I just want to dive right in and get into this because this is what I'll say is the most important step. So let's just dive in there. Let me share my screen. There we go. Good. So the first one is distribution. And hey, without all this, it's a waste of time. I mean, you can have the greatest idea, the greatest intent, but if you never get those water filters out of your garage, they won't help anyone. They won't help your bottom line. They won't help your ideal customer. So today we want to talk about what to do after you've defined your ideal audience, you've researched their most commonly asked questions, especially the ones that keep them up at night, and created a written or even a video as content to post. So what we want to do today is we want to outline a simple 4-step workflow you can employ with each and every new piece of content. So let's jump into it. The first one is distribution. And there are 4 places we're going to cover today, and I'm going to highly recommend if you do not have a dedicated individual on your staff doing this for you, please, please, please focus only on one. And then as you get better, maybe in 6 to 12 months, add a second as far as distribution channel. And if you need to, it may not even be one of those things where you actually have to add a second channel. You'll find that by adding it just one, because if you haven't done any, it is plenty. So the first one we're going to talk about is your website. And the second one is your email. And some of you say, well, geez, Jeff, I don't have an email database. That's okay, because we're going to talk about that. We're going to get you around that. So the third is a platform called Medium. And the fourth is Google My Business, now called Google Business Profile. And I'm going to add a bonus here if we have time. So let's dive into the first one. By the way, I do have them in what we recommend, what we've determined is probably the most impactful order after literally hundreds and hundreds of pieces of content posted. So again, they're in the order I would say is most important. So if you got to choose one, choose your website. So the first one is your website. And there are reasons you want to post on your website. The first one, and probably the most important one, is the fact that you own that website. So no one can tell you, hey, Jeff, you know what? You can't put that piece of content up there, or, we've changed the algorithm and now nobody's actually going to see that piece of content on how to create content for your customers' need. That's not going to happen. You own that website. So that is the most important. And a friend of mine, dear friend, used to be a business partner, Andrew, and I would talk about this. He said, we had a saying is never build on rented land, because the people who own the land that you're renting from could change the rules. And all of a sudden that big, beautiful house you built or your big, beautiful business could be at risk or jeopardy or compromised. So with this one, your website is you own it. If you don't have a website, it's 2022, gang. You need a website. So make sure you have one. The second one is you can grow your database. Remember I said, hey, if you don't have a database, this is a great way to do that. And it simply is within your content, every piece of content, you'll have an opportunity to grow your database, meaning, hey, join for a certain reason. And that brings us to your call to action. With every piece of content that you post, you'll want to add a call to action. In other words, it's almost like when you invite somebody over to your home, there's a reason for them to be there. Hey, I've invited you over at 6 o'clock. Why? Because the call to action is we're going to sit down and have dinner. Now, in the meantime, we might actually set and maybe we're going to watch the football game together at 3:30 on Sunday, but it's going to lead into we're going to have dinner. We might have some drinks or beverages, whatever it is. We might go out and play, cornhole, whatever. But the program is at the end of the day, there's going to be a call to action. You want to do this with your content. On your website, you can add that call to action. And the other, which is really nice, is you can improve upon it. So let's say, for instance, when you put it on your data, you put this piece of content where it says how to create content your customers need. Well, what if you went back in there and it said how to create content your customers need, but this was from 2020? Well, maybe I want to change that banner and I put a big slider across there. It says updated for 2022. And now I go in and I look at that content and I clean it up a little bit. I add some things that are more relevant here in 2022. Does that improve it as far as search engines? Absolutely. So I can update that and improve upon it. If I put a piece of content out there that I thought, hey, this was gonna change the world, it's gonna turn the world on fire, and then I realized, hey, you know what? It's crickets. I can go back in there and change that content. Maybe it needed better title. Maybe it needed better pictures. Maybe it needed more keywords within the article to make it perform better. All these things you can do because you own the website. So that's the first place you want to put your content. The next place is email. Now, I know some of you say, well, I don't have an email database. That's okay. That's okay. Remember what I said, if there's one place you can start, or if you're by yourself, do one thing. So that would be your website, which would help you too. So the reasons for sharing it via email is, again, you own the audience. Starting to see kind of a common thread there. Absolutely. You own that audience. Nobody can tell you can't send an email database. Now, a quick side note here. A brand new client has been using that just came aboard, has been using a company to send out some emails. Now, they provide the list to them, and it's about 20,000. It's supposed to be very specific, clean, and targeted. And there's only a couple of drawbacks. He has no way to access these people other than through the email database that he has access to. In other words, he can't send an email out on his own. He can't gather their data. And it makes it very difficult, meaning the folks also, he cannot add any names. He said something to me 2 days ago. He said, I asked the company if I could add emails as I get them gathered to the existing database. He says, no, we can't do it because that's their email database and everybody in their database has opted in through their program, which it makes sense. But the point is, those 20,000 emails that he has access to, that he pays for, he's not allowed to do anything except send it out once a month or send it out whenever he wants to. The thing about it is, which is really a drawback, I said, well, how much does it cost? He says, to send out this email list, every time he wants to do it, it's $1,000. Now, as a new customer, I said, we will be building your database so you can send out when you want for the monthly fee of an email service, like say MailChimp, for just $50 a month. The other reason is to grow your database. This should be something you do with each piece of content. Give the visitor a reason to give you their name and email in exchange for a solution. Now, it must be relevant and meaningful or this won't work well. To sign up for my newsletter, probably in 2022, not going to do it unless your email is so powerful that every time I open it up, it just spills money into my database, into my inbox. Probably not going to work. So as people get enough of these types of emails already, please don't do the sign up for my newsletter and then be disappointed that, hey, Jeff, that didn't work. I'm warning you right now, that's probably not your best way to do it. So think of something like a product or service you offer with high ticket value, but low or no cost. Often, this can be a digital product. And then the next thing is you want to add your call to action. Every piece of content should have a call to action. In a way, this is similar to building a database. You are calling out the visitor. and giving them directions as to the next action you want them to take. It could be something as simple as, hey, I'm doing a free live interactive webinar on Wednesday showing you how to remove pet urine stains from carpeting. Yes, even those with light colored carpeting. All you have to do to attend is click the link to sign up, as the size will be limited so I can answer any question. So that could be as simple as that, because maybe you're talking about pet stains and how it hurts the value of your home if you're thinking about selling it. Could be something as simple as that. So now you invite them to coming to a free live webinar, seeing how you remove that. Well, wouldn't it be neat or wouldn't it be a natural step if they see you successfully do this, that they then hire you to also remove pet urine stains from their carpet? So finally, you can always go back and update the article, like I said, but the big thing is it's shareable. Because let's say, for instance, you write an article about something that is good not only for your ideal customer, but birds of a feather tend to flock together. So the chances of them, if it's something that's very, very valuable to them, they're probably going to be wanting to share that with their audience. Sharing an email like this is very shareable. It's easy to do that. And you know what? Now you grow through making great content that's very, very valuable for your clients. All right. So the next one is, let's go back here. The reasons to post a medium. Well, I think the first one is they have a massive audience. They have over 100 million readers. And I guarantee you, not all of those readers are your ideal customer, but I can guarantee you there's probably enough of them that come to that site, Medium, that are interested in the solutions from your content that you've already written. Now, the cool thing about this is it's free. Now, they do have a $5 a month unlimited plan or $50 a year. So I want to clarify that. It is free. You can post as much as you want, but there is an unlimited access plan to that. So if you want to really dive in deep, it's $50 a year. You can grow your database and email list from there. They don't, from what I can see, they don't restrict you on what you can and cannot put in your database, and you can write on any topic. So I don't care if you clean pools, you install solar, you do, pedicures, or you cut hair or anything in between. You can write and share that topic in there. And here's the thing, gang. As I go through this, I'm talking about taking that same article or video that you created and sharing it on different platforms. That's all I'm saying. It's almost like saying, hey, I'm going to bake a meatloaf, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to segment it out so I can eat it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Not just make it once and it's done. I can now spread it out. That's what we're doing here, and that's what we're talking about, distribution. All right. So the next one is Google Business Profile, formerly called Google My Business. Now, Google My Business gives you so many ways to be found, and one is posting articles as content on your GMB profile page. Again, this is free. There's no charge for this. So you want to post on there. It also is great for local SEO search, meaning whenever somebody says, hey, I'm looking for a carpet cleaner near me, and you have all these articles on there, and in each one of your articles, in your conclusionary statement and throughout writing, you talk about how you service the Coachella Valley and Rancho Mirage and Cathedral City and Palm Springs. And now it says, oh, wait a second, here's somebody, ABC carpet cleaning, they service these areas and they're near me. So you pop up in Google My Business search. So that is very, very powerful. The next one is it's free. It's free. I'm not asking you guys to spend any money on this. It's really, truly a no-brainer. All right. You can also add call to actions on every article, so you can grow your database again. In fact, most of the time, people are not aware of this. Now, one extra side note here. Photos are huge. Photos are huge. So at this point, what I'd say is the types of photos we're talking about are not stock photos. The photos we're talking about, you guys, are ones that you're taking pictures of. Let's say your staff in action, they're helping customers, or behind the scenes, or if you're manufacturing something, showing the step by step and you have pictures of this. Yes, you can use videos as well. Make sure you put those same pictures in there with the meta tag and description, just like we talked about in the previous training a couple weeks ago. That is important. But all of these get labeled. Now, here's a cool thing. They also have great analytics where you just plug in and say, hey, how am I doing? And when you look on there, it'll show you, well, let's say you've added 20 new photos in the last 28 days. It will tell you how you're comparing against other competitors in your industry. So if you're putting 20 photos, but your average competitor puts one, that means you have a 20 times more likelihood of showing up because you're putting more images there. And let's face it, an image is worth, that's right, 1,000 words. It could be worth more than that. It could be worth $1,000, because what's happening is we're looking and we're seeing you and your staff or whoever it might be in action, happy customers, behind the scenes, those kind of things. All those pictures are great. Now, I am going to caution you on this. You might want to write this down. Do not put up stock photos. Google My Business may tag you. They may punish you. I don't know if the word punish, that might be a little harsh, but they will cite you for using stock images. They'd rather see real stuff. Now, some of this could be one of those things like, hey, you service a certain city. Could you put pictures of areas of that city? Absolutely. What this does, gang, is it proves to the search engines you really are there. There are some people out there using Google Business Profile, and they're kind of like trying to scam the system. They're putting all these stock photos from that city on there, trying to expand their reach, and they have no presence there. So if you go out and you're going to the Rancho Mirage Library and you see your vehicle with the name parked in front of it and you take a picture of it, or you're at a certain restaurant, or you're in a certain street downtown in Palm Springs, all these things are good. It proves you are who you are. Now, your business profile, like I said, is free. Here's a downside. You don't own this. It is owned by Google, and it allows you to be on there. Does that mean there could be some changes? Absolutely. So again, going back to how we put these in order, this is number 4 on the 1 through 4 list. So if I were looking at anything, I'd say, hey, I want to make sure to stock up, to build on my website, build my database, because I own that. The next one is Medium. It's free. And the 4th one is Google My Business Profile, because things change there, which means you have to stay current on what the changes are. Like just recently, on the 26th of January, it went from Google My Business to Google Business Profile. Did a lot of things change on the inside? Some things did. Almost all of them were good. This is a great place to attract local business, very targeted business. So there's a thing called the 3-pack. We'll get into that at another time. It's a long conversation, because Google My Business Profile, it deserves its own half hour to really dig into it. But it's called Google Business Profile, or GMB is what probably for a while we're probably gonna use those letters to identify Google Business Profile. So reasons to be on Google Business Profile: local search. It really is helpful. Put your articles there. It's free. You can add calls to actions to every article. You can grow your business. And the 5th one, which I didn't put up there, it has great analytics. Like, it will tell you from your Google Business Profile how many people it sent to your website, how many people search for you on maps, How many people called your business? So you can see the effectiveness of that. It's a great, great tool. All right. So finally, what is your next step? Well, if you want or need more customers, making content that improves the lives of your ideal customer is a great place to start. Define your ideal target audience. Now, if you miss that presentation and the step-by-step process of doing that, identifying your ideal audience, go back and watch it. Then you'll want to research the problems they need to have solved on the way to making a buying decision. I mean, think about this. If you were buying a new pair of shoes, what questions would you need solved before handing over your credit card or cash? Like, hey, what's the reason? Are these shoes for business? Is it casual, athletic? Is it performance? What is it? There's a process we all have to do somewhat. And we do this, we kind of do this instinctively, right? As the buyer. But you need to spend some time inside the shoes, yeah, no pun intended, or the mind of your ideal customer, and then begin creating and keep creating consistently and patiently. Knowing your answers will be found by us, your customers, on Google and come to you as the answer and really as the authority in that particular space. So I want to say good luck, but it's really not luck. It's brain science. So now the only decision you have right now is, will you do it or will you not do it? Will you make content or will you say, okay, I know all about that now, and then you decide not to? And then a year or 6 months from now, you still need customers, and this will be in your mind. And it'll be, I should have started back then. So I want to end with one of my favorite sayings. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now. So I'm going to encourage you, start making content now. Okay? So I want to thank Katie. I want to thank Dawn, and I want to thank Annie at the Chamber of Commerce at Rancho Mirage Chamber of Commerce. And I want to thank you all for coming. If you have questions, whether you're watching this on a replay or you're watching it live, please add them into the comments now, and I'll be more than happy to answer it. If for some reason you didn't make it live, but you're watching this, please go ahead and put the comments in there, and I'll stay on top of that. Same with, I think Katie will do the same thing, and we'll be more than happy to answer it. Now, just FYI, we will be back next Wednesday. That will be let's see, I think that's going to be the 16th. I think today's the 9th. Yes, the 16th at 11 o'clock. And we're talking about this process as a whole. So if you just for the very first time caught this and you're saying, wow, I feel like I'm a little discombobulated, like I'm having dessert before I even knew what we were having for the meal, I encourage you to join us on Wednesday. It is free. You see, I'm not trying to sell you anything. At the end, I'm not saying, hey, sign up here and we'll be more than happy to take care of it. Even though Swing Put Media, we do all this for our customers. So when I'm telling you this is not theory, gang. This is what we do for our customers every day to help them get more customers. Some of the things we do more of, some of the things we do less of. It depends on the customers. So again, I want to thank you for joining me. My name is Jeff Harrison, and we'll see you next week on how to get more customers from your ideal audience. Thank you, guys. Take care.